Hey there, Taurus. Welcome to your reading for the week. Or no, this is for December 2025. You have this unrevealed secrets card. It says, what is happening on the surface is not what you'll see if you look deeper. You have this temptation card. It says, what is tempting you at this moment may not be a wise choice. Yeah, I would definitely be careful of temptation. There's like a little bit of devil energy going on at the end of the year here. So, again, if you know something isn't good for you, avoid it. Plain and simple. Could be a person, a place, or a thing. Doesn't matter. Like I said, I would avoid it. We are absolutely in a time where we have to look deeper. Everything about the astrology says look deeper. We had Pluto retrograde at the beginning of Aquarius, and Pluto is direct right now, of course, in Aquarius, but Pluto is very slow moving, and so Pluto retrograde can definitely be about. Sorry, wrong camera. Needing to look deeper, needing to do research. It can represent like needing to look into deeper issues or challenges, but also good things as well. You have a lot of good cards here so far, Taurus, and doing your research, being curious, asking questions, all those things are really good to do right now. In your first row, you have the Ten of Pentacles, the Four of Swords, and the Seven of Pentacles. You always get the Ten of Pentacles with me, and it makes perfect sense because we have Uranus in Taurus right now. It is retrograding in Taurus, but I think this last little bit of Uranus in Taurus, of course, is triggering you to build and leave a legacy, to build something great in your life, whatever it is. The Ten of Pentacles, of course, is amazing for like wealth, money, things like that, but I feel this is more something that you're building or creating. It could be like a project, a business, a family, could be whatever you want here, Taurus, and I would just keep doing what you're doing. I would do your research. Ten of Pentacles has like an alternate meaning. Normally this older man here can, Ten of Pentacles can represent like an inheritance because of that older man. But the older man, the alternate meaning is that this is a beggar, and he's coming and he's bringing this family a gift because they just had a baby. And you have that unrevealed secrets card. So Ten of Pentacles can represent hidden or secret information. It can represent information coming from an unlikely source, and you have to do your research, like I said at the beginning of the reading. And definitely with that unrevealed secrets card, it's like, again, I would turn your brain on and tell it that you're looking for an answer to whatever you're looking for an answer for. Because, again, you'll probably get the answer from something unlikely, and I would just pay attention. You have the Four Swords. Yeah, buckle up for next year for sure. I think the Four Swords is saying get a lot of rest and relax and recover. A lot of what I don't see this in your reading, but, just like a little bit of a collective theme that I've noticed is that a lot of the readings have been encouraging people to find something that makes them happy, like a hobby, an interest, whatever, doesn't matter, whatever gets you into that heightened state. And again, I think we're entering into a very busy time where there's going to be a lot going on, a lot of moving parts, especially Saturn when it moves back into Aries in February of next year. And so, I would find something, number one, that makes you happy. Number two, I would also find something that recharges your batteries. You do have the Ace of Cups here, and Ace of Cups can overflow endlessly. So the Ace of Cups is about finding something like a practice, a daily practice, a routine, a meditation, something that fulfills you that you can do every single day. Because again, I think that there's a lot of moving parts over the next many years, and we're going to need something that recharges our batteries. If not, we'll burn out. So, again, I would find some sort of practice. And it can be free. There's a billion freaking meditations about, everything on YouTube. It doesn't even have to be a meditation. It could be anything like going for a walk. Next, you have two cards. I didn't even know that. You have the Seven of Pentacles and the Queen of Cups. The Seven of Pentacles can be a change in direction. It's my card that says, is the juice worth the squeeze? Seven of Pentacles, he's looking at those pentacles and he's saying, is it worth it for me to be investing in these pentacles, or is there something better that I could be doing with my time? And I can't answer that question for you, Taurus. Only you can answer that question. You do have the Queen of Cups, and again, we have the Ace of Cups. So, that kind of tells me that you are like maybe something isn't fulfilling your heart as much anymore. I've talked about this before, I think, in your readings, that I do feel some people feel a little bit bored at the end of the year here, or just uninspired. And I blame Neptune and Pisces, of course. The Neptune and Pisces is tricky because we have to be inspired to get started on something, but to get started on something, we have to feel inspired. So it's like a little bit of a mind effort. It's like, how do you get inspired if you're not inspired to start something that you have to be inspired to work on, right? So it's like a lot of people, I think, are dealing with that resistance. Like, you want to make moves in life, you want to make progress, but you're not feeling inspired, but you have to get started to feel inspired. So, I think there's like a little bit of a tricky energy as far as that's concerned. I do think it will get better, but at the same time, Queen of Cups wants us to follow our heart, and we have to like experiment with our heart as well. If you have ideas right now in life, you might not feel inspired, but if there's anything that you think might be exciting to you, I would just try it and see if you get inspired. If you do, great, keep going. If you don't, great, stop. You found something you don't want to do, right? And that's really what those cards want you to do. Let's see here, Taurus. With the Ten of Pentacles, you have the Five of Wands. Yeah, I think we're going to see a lot of cards of competition. If I had to guess, I think that the 2026 readings will probably have the Five of Wands a lot. We're entering into the year of the horse for 2026 in Chinese astrology, right? We're in the year of the snake right now in 2025. And, horses are kind of like competitive, a symbol of competition and things like that. I also just think that we're entering into a time of co-creation, and I'm sure some of you that sit in the back of the classroom that get very easily confused are saying, you just said competition and now you're talking about co-creation. Yes, I meant what I said. So yes, we're entering into a time of co-creation. That doesn't mean competition is going anywhere, and if anything, competition will be highlighted because we're entering into a time of co-creation. Your brain, your intuition is telling you should be co-creating. You're going to notice competition. It's going to stand out like a sore thumb, right? So with the Ten of Pentacles, the Five of Wands wants us to do our research, plain and simple. Ten of Pentacles says, go to the bottom of something. Explore something on a very deep level, and you could learn how to overcome the competition without even taking part in the competition, right? Just by studying. So there you go. With the Four of Swords, you have the Death card. Yes, I think that, again, if I had to guess, you are probably going to have the Death card in 2026 for sure. In the yearly readings. I'm going to do those, I think, next week. I'm going to start those. Definitely something to look out for. But what I would say is a big change here for you. Again, Uranus will be officially leaving your sign forever. And again, it's going to be 85 years or whatever before it comes back. You'll be dead. So there you go. That's the good news. What I would say here is that, once it leaves and officially moves into Gemini, which I think is in April, don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure. I actually haven't looked, if I'm being honest, but there you go. And, I'm pretty sure it's April, around your birth time. And, again, big changes coming for you, for sure. You're going to be, locking in with that energy. With the Queen of Cups and the Seven of Pentacles, you have the Nine of Swords. Yeah, Nine of Swords is a never-ending nightmare, and so Nine of Swords, like, round and round type of energy. And the Seven of Pentacles could be saying, like, if you're experiencing something or if you're seeing something that is repeating in your life, you have the opportunity to end that cycle. So I actually feel pretty good about this. Again, I do not like the Nine of Swords. To me, this is the worst card in the tarot, not even the Tower, right? I think, like, everybody's always like, oh, the Tower, the Tower. I'm like, the Tower's a good card. Nine of Swords sucks. So I'll say that. But I feel pretty good about it in your reading. I feel that you are, like, ending a cycle. Next, in the area of what's coming in for you, you have this card that says emotions are running high. You have this card that says nothing will come of this situation. I would definitely, again, with all the energy in Pisces, I would be careful of your emotions, especially Neptune and Saturn, especially because Neptune is retrograde. Neptune goes direct on November 27th, so I don't even know what today is. Today is the 26th, or the 22nd, sorry. And so in this video will be published on the 23rd, so in a few days, Neptune goes direct. But if you're watching this before the 27th, your intuition might be telling you things, or, emotionally, you might not know all the details. And again, Neptune's very slow moving, so I would say for, most of December, I'm not telling you to ignore your emotions, but what I am telling you is to not make a big deal out of things that are making you feel emotional. And if anything, I would get to the bottom of anything that is making you feel emotional, because by doing your research and not just being emotional and not looking at the details, by looking into it, you might find that there's nothing to worry about. You have the Three of Pentacles, the Two of Wands, and the Six of Swords. Three of Pentacles says teamwork makes the dream work, right? So like I just said, co-creation. It's an amazing time to find people that, can support you and lift you up. I always say these two people are really supporting his vision right here, what he has worked on. So if you are looking to work on anything or create anything, it would be a great time to make sure that the people you're having or allowing into your life really support your vision or really support what you are creating or doing in your life. And that's what I would focus on here with the Three of Pentacles. You have the Two of Wands. Two of Wands is about taking the lead and getting out into the world. Like I said, I think over the next year, it's kind of funny because sorry, Taurus, but I kind of do feel that this is part of the reading is talking about what's going to happen next year, 2026, right? I feel that you are going to be entering into new worlds next year, especially again, when Uranus enters into Gemini. I feel that that will have you kind of looking for places to take the lead, looking for places to expand. You could even be completely reinventing your finances, or value in your life, as in the things that bring you value. Seven of Pentacles, right? He's looking at those pentacles on the Seven of Pentacles and he's saying, am I getting value from XYZ, right? Literally could be everything in your life that you are putting under a microscope and you're saying I get value from this, I don't get it from that. And you're going to be kind of sifting and sorting and making sure that you put more energy into things that bring you value. So like I said, pretty good. I feel pretty good about this, and yeah, looks good. You have the Six of Swords. Six of Swords, of course, is moving on to calmer shores, and so there could be a lot of improvements at the end of the year here. I kind of feel you are going to be in a time of improvements. I feel that there are some that are going to be easy. I do feel like saying don't only focus on easy improvements. It's I feel like there could be I'm not going to sugarcoat it. And also, by the way, I would never tell people not to do hard things. It's most of the hard things in my life have just significantly improved my life. So I will always encourage people to do hard things. And that's what I'll say here. There could be some improvements in your life that will be a little bit of a challenge, but does that mean you shouldn't do it? No, of course not, right? It's I want to eat pizza every single day, but this year I quit everything. I quit everything, and yeah, my life is pretty freaking boring. I eat the same thing every single day, but also the results have been great, and I'm much, much healthier because of it. So yeah, it's I don't want to do it, but it's a hard thing and it's better. So again, I think that there could be some challenges, not even challenges, just changes that are going to require discipline. And if you make those changes, your life will be better. With the Three of Pentacles, you have the Four of Swords. Four of Swords is resting, relaxing, recovering, and healing. And so, this card always comes up during Mercury retrograde. Any time this card comes up during a retrograde, I just say yeah, of course, it would be a good time for you to rest, relax, recover, and heal. Again, Mercury goes direct on the 29th of November, but really, you might as well say the first 2 weeks of December, because we'll be in the shadow. And yeah, that's what I'll say there. With the Two of Wands, you have the Wheel of Fortune. Definitely could be a big change in your fortunes here, Taurus. I feel that a lot of it, but Two of Wands says you have to leave the castle, right? He has to leave this castle that he's standing on top of, and he has to get out into the world. The Wheel of Fortune, we have to pay attention to things that are working, Seven of Pentacles in your reading, and we have to double down on those good things to change our fortunes. With the Six of Swords, you have the Three of Pentacles again, which is great. Again, some of you could be kind of leaving groups of people behind. And I don't mean this in a bad way. I think I've said this to you this year before as well. It just seems to me there are some people who just cause problems, and there are other people who lift you up and support you. And I feel that you're just focused on those what I call concentrated connections, because those connections, sorry, it's trying to focus on my eye here. There we go. So, again, I think that will be better. Next, in the area of messages from your future self, you have this Milk and Honey card and this Community card. I feel like your community is going to be very important this month of December. Like I said, making sure to surround yourself with people who lift you up. The milk and honey card is really good. It can represent enjoying life, good things coming in for you. One thing I will say is make sure to look at the facts. I get that feeling from the reading in general. You have that temptation card. The milk and honey card basically says, don't get high on your own supply, right? Basically, if things need to change in your life, but you have people in your life that are lying to you about the changes, and they're like, oh, no, it's okay. Basically, the people who don't want you to grow, I would be careful of that. Doesn't mean you have to cut those people out of your life. It just means make the change, right? Plain and simple. But overall, I feel pretty good about that. Taurus, make sure to leave a comment. Really helps me out. You have this Judgment card, the Ace of Cups, and the Knight of Wands. Judgment can, of course, be a wake-up call. These people are being called up out of these coffins. And so for a lot of you, this could be like a change that you're making in your life. And, the coffin is their old life. Outside the coffin is their new life. Like I said at the beginning of the reading, you are probably going to have the Death card, I'm going to call it right now, in your 2026 reading, or the Judgment card, because I do feel next year is a little bit of a rebirth for you here, Taurus. Again, they have to completely let go of the past and completely step into something new. I remember what I said to you in your last reading. And again, this is the type of change. It might not have been the last reading. It might have been the last weekend reading that I did for you. I think that was the mid-monthly reading for November. But I was saying, I think Taurus, the best way I can describe the energy is that Taurus has a dream. It's maybe you've always wanted to be on the radio, but basically radio is basically dead, right? But you could start a podcast. It's that's what I see for Taurus. It's there's something that you want to do in your life, but it's old, or it just needs to be updated, and you're updating it. So that is the change. It's you're doing the same thing but just different, right? And I don't know, there's probably something in that for you, Taurus. You have the Ace of Cups. Ace of Cups is your emotions overflowing. Again, my one thing that I would definitely say is I think everybody right now needs to pick one thing that fulfills them, and they need to do it and make it part of their routine. It's kind of a non-negotiable with me right now, so that is your homework for sure, Taurus. I do also feel there could be a love offer, although I do not think you are focused on love at the moment. You have a little bit of love here, but it's not really a love offer. Or a love reading is what I meant to say. But there definitely could be a person coming in for those of you that want it. Like I said, I think most importantly, this is encouraging you to focus on overflowing. You have the Knight of Wands. Knight of Wands is charging forward, and I feel you are making a lot of progress. He can represent mystery, and we see a lot of mystery in this reading. So he has these pyramids in the background. And the pyramids in the tarot represent mysteries, and I feel it would be a good time for you to explore mysteries in your life, anything that you don't know or anything that you're trying to discover. He's also the true builder in the tarot, and he basically says if you don't know how to do something, find another way. If he's trying to build something to overcome an obstacle and it doesn't work, he just builds something else. And so I would be flexible in your building. With the Judgment card, you have the Nine of Cups. It's like a dream, and the Nine of Cups is a wish or wish fulfillment. It's I feel that some of you are more on the path to your purpose here, or your destiny. The Wheel of Fortune is your destiny. The Judgment card is your purpose. So a lot of you could be finding fulfillment in your purpose, or it's you're discovering your destiny or something like that is what I'm getting. So that could be good. Here you go. With the Ace of Cups, you have the Tower. I think out of all 12 signs, this year you have had this combination the most, Taurus. Judgment, Tower. Most powerful combination in the tarot. Can represent a major wake-up call, a light bulb moment. I do not consider this to be bad. To me, it's good because it represents a big wake-up moment, when these two come up together. It can represent kind of a revelation coming in for you, or like I said, a light bulb moment. So you could be having a major realization right now. With the Knight of Wands, you have the Seven of Wands. Yeah, I feel you could feel you're not ready for something, but you are. You're as ready as you're going to be, right? And so the time is now here, Taurus. I just get that feeling of feeling you're not ready to do something. He has two different shoes on. The story is that he had to rush out of his home to defend his position at the top of the hill, and he doesn't feel ready. but, really, he's as ready as he's going to be. So I kind of feel that energy for you. Next, in the area of the good stuff, you have this good news card. It says all forms of communication: text, email, documents, phone calls, letters, notes, voice messages. You have this house. It says real estate, security, stability, root, family, home, possession, safety. So a lot of you could be receiving good news, of course. If you're thinking about moving, by the way, there's definitely some moving cards in this reading. So some of you could be moving or changing your location. You have the Six of Cups, the Three of Wands, and the Ace of Wands. Six of Cups can be love. I don't consider a person from the past. To me, it can represent a new soulmate. But again, a lot of the readings this month have been about happiness and like needing to do things to nurture your own happiness, which is exactly what I would do with this card. Is I would do something to make sure that you're like nurturing the happiness inside of you, or just nurturing your happiness in general. I think that would be very beneficial for you with this energy. I also feel that there could be like a little bit of a turnaround here. I don't feel anything like this isn't like a major breakthrough, but sometimes I feel the Six of Cups can be a gift from the universe, and usually the gift we receive is a turnaround. We've been bumping up against an obstacle, and then when we get this card, the gift is that we overcome the obstacle. So I kind of feel like some of you could be overcoming a small obstacle here. You have the Three of Wands. Three of Wands, a card of expansion and growth. It is a card of taking the lead in your life. It is a card of new adventures as well. So I feel that a lot of you could be ready to go on new adventures. He needs to get on those boats that are behind him here. Those boats are going in some direction he doesn't know, but he has to get on those boats anyway. And I feel a lot of you could be kind of like getting into a more adventurous time. You have the Knight of Wands. And again, I think sometimes it's hard for fixed signs to be spontaneous. Again, Knight of Wands, this card here definitely could represent like spontaneous opportunities or spontaneous moments. And I would take advantage of spontaneous opportunity. You have the Ace of Wands, which is great. Ace of Wands is out with the old, in with the new. And I would definitely say anything new that you're wanting to work on, I would. The Ace of Wands is only a spark, but we have to keep putting wood on the fire. I always say the Ace of Wands is something that we have to feed. We have to give it energy so that it can grow. And so if you're thinking about doing anything in your life, I would just feed that passion or feed that desire, because I think you will be very surprised at how much progress you are able to make. But feels pretty good. Let's see here. With the Six of Cups, you have the Page of Cups. Like I said, there is a little bit of love here. I don't think it's like a major focus for you in December, but it's here. So if you want love, definitely could be a very solid connection coming in for you. Page of Cups can be an admirer. So, again, this could be a person who's like making you an offer. It could be a surprise. You have with the Judgment card in the Tower. But, again, I don't really, I think this is something that maybe you're just going to think about. With the Three of Wands, you show up here with the King of Pentacles. Whenever you show up as yourself, it puts you in a position of power and strength and allows you to get what you want from the reading. A very good card for improving your finances and building wealth. I always say that he needs to innovate. He can be a little bit stuck doing things the same way, but he is coming up in the good stuff. With the Ace of Wands, you have the Knight of Cups. Definitely could be a knight in shining armor. Again, is it a major theme? No, but it's showing up here. So this could be you being swept off your feet. I would say with the Ace of Wands that this could be you working on a dream. The Knight of Cups is very dreamy, and he has a lot of big dreams. And the Ace of Wands would say, feed your dreams. You have this haystack. It says karma. You will reap what you have sown. Yeah, there's definitely an element of karma in your reading. The Wheel of Fortune, Judgment with the Tower. Definitely could be like some sort of karmic breakthrough or karmic rewards coming in for you. You have this pig. It says beware of greed. Yes, definitely. I think that, probably what we will notice in the world over the next few years is a lot of people getting exposed for their greed. So I think we're already seeing it, right? And, there you go. You have this horse. It says short journey on it. Anything you can do to travel or move around or make moves would be a good idea. Six of Swords, Three of Wands, all these cards are definitely cards of making moves. And again, next year is the year of the horse. So I think that you are going to be making a lot of moves here. You have this mice card. It says discord among family or friends. I'm not really getting any issues with family or friends. I think this is like small issues. It's almost like saying to me, don't turn molehills into mountains, right? So I would be careful of getting too caught up in the small details. I even feel that as well with this card. It's like this might not have anything to do with people. That's what I feel intuitively. Like this could be a project, and it's like if you're getting too caught up on the tiny little things and that are preventing you from actually doing work on what you're doing, then you're gonna have a problem, right? It's just gonna slow you down. It's just gonna get in the way of what you're doing. We call this majoring in the minors, right? Where it's like you worry about the little things instead of like just doing the work. And I definitely feel that. You have this boat. It says money or property through inheritance, winning, or windfall. Some of you could be getting an inheritance with the Ten of Pentacles. Obviously, you would probably know about that if you were getting it. So if you don't know that, then no. You are probably not the relative of some prince or king that has passed away and you're magically going to get money. This is only for those of you that know. So there you go. But definitely very good for money. The other thing I would say is it's a boat. There are 3 boats on the Three of Wands. You have to step into the unknown. You have to go on an adventure. You have to do things you've never done before to get this. So make sure you're innovating. But all in all, pretty positive here, Taurus. I like it. So thank you for being here. Make sure to leave a comment, and definitely enjoy your month.